I think I'm starting a series. Only way for me to appreciate woody fragrances is do a series of different videos on various woody style of fragrances. Last week I did a woody fragrances video, just an overall generalization of woody fragrances. Today I'm doing woody amber fragrances or amber woody fragrances. Find out about them coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about amber woody or woody amber fragrances. Are you a fan of this particular style? I do enjoy ambers quite a bit. I love amber fragrances. Woody fragrances do get boring for me, but this combination is amazing. Let me know if you have a favorite amber woody or woody amber fragrance. Put a comment down below. And let's go ahead and get started. But before I do, if you didn't catch last week's woody fragrances video, please go catch that. Probably we'll do about 4 of these, maybe 5, maybe 6, I don't know. But there are various styles out there. And as I said, today we're talking about woody amber or amber woody fragrances. We're going to go ahead and start with AMOUAGE. AMOUAGE is Interlude 53 Man, or AMOUAGE Interlude Man 53, however you want to say it. And you know what? I'm picking this version because I really enjoy it, but you can always go with the original, which is a bit thinner. And this is probably the most popular AMOUAGE fragrance, and it's definitely a very amber woody style or woody amber style. Lots of oud here with incense, amber, labdanum, patchouli, leather, opoponax, smoke, sandalwood, and oregano. Now, this is one of the most unique creations by a perfumer, Pierre Negrin. And what he did was combine all the woods and oud note in here with, of course, smokiness. There's smoke in here. There's a smoky note and also the incense note. But what's really unique about this one is the oregano. But it's definitely very amber woody. So there's lots of ambery notes, which is the amber and the labdanum that's in here. And there's also other woods in here that's giving you this very amber woody style. I enjoy this one, although it's not one that I really crave for. But a lot of people do enjoy this one, and I think the Interlude 53 Man is really super potent and beast mode. If you can find it at a deal or a discount, I would get this one, but of course the original should satisfy if you're into these kind of notes. The amber woody fragrance style, this is Interlude 53 Man from AMOUAGE. Let's move on to the House of Atelier d'Azur. This is Larmes du Desert, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with Atelier d'Azur? This is a really beautiful example of a woody amber fragrance. It's perfect, I think. It's got precious woods, benzoin, cistus labdanum, amber, gaiac wood, incense, cypress, cedar, and patchouli. It's the perfect combination of lots of ambery notes and lots of woods, but some of the woods kind of have some aromatics thrown in. There's, of course, the smokiness from the incense in here, but patchouli gives you that earthy woodiness in here. Cedar, cypress, the cypress provides that kind of greenish, a bit aromatic style of woods in here. It's a really, really wonderful offering, but it's a nice balance of ambery resinous notes with smoke, all the woods together. It has a bit of a Middle Eastern style, and I like that about this one. For me, it's not like full-on Middle Eastern. Sometimes I experience fragrances in a way, there's that signature like saffron that comes in a lot of fragrances which combines the woods and ambery notes, and that kind of takes it into like a full-on Middle Eastern direction. This one doesn't have that, but when I'm wearing it, it does a little bit. This is Larmes du Desert from the House of Atelier d'Azur. Really great example of a woody amber fragrance. But this next one is from the House of Molten Brown. This is Labdanum Dusk. So it's interesting, Molten Brown launched 3 ambery fragrances together. The other 2, which sadly I'm drawing a blank with the name, didn't really wow me. But this Labdanum Dusk, which only comes in the EDP, in the darker bottle, is a really, really great fragrance. First off, first off, it's a woody amber fragrance. But in there, there's a light DNA of something like Polo, the original men's Polo. But with all the combination of the amber and woods that are in here. But it's chock full of labdanum, cedar leaves, cypriol, leather, oud, patchouli, tonka, vanilla, and saffron. There's saffron here, but I don't get that Middle Eastern vibe in here. But definitely got leather, lots of leather with this one. But it's chock full of woods and amber. It's a nice balance of the amber and the woods together, and then you are getting a little bit of that leather in here, although it's a lot of leather, which is a nice balance. It screams masculine, and the fact that it has a lot of these fragrances actually are very masculine, including the AMOUAGE I spoke about, Interlude Man 53 or Interlude 53 Man, including the Labdanum Dusk from Molten Brown. It's a really, really great fragrance. I haven't spoken much about it. As I was putting together my notes for this, I came upon it and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this one. It's really great because I really like amber. I love ambery fragrances, and of course it's woods. And then there's that reminder of polo for some strange reason, which I really, really like. So it's Labdanum Dusk from Molten Brown. Check that out if you don't know it. I do recommend that one as one of their best. And I don't know why it only comes in EDP. Maybe the EDT didn't turn out as good, because sometimes when you do different concentrations, it loses its uniqueness, and I've noticed that quite a bit in fragrances. But we're moving on to the house of Thomas KOSMALA. It's number 4, Après l'Amour, this one right here. So this is kind of a molecular take on amber and woods. It's got lots of ambroxan style notes in here, but they don't mention it, you know? They call it woods, amber, musk, aromatic notes, fresh spices, bitter orange, and lemon zest. So most likely well, I know for sure it wears like ambroxan, but they're calling it amber in here. And ambroxan as a note is quite musky, woody, dusty, a bit aquatic, marine, and for sure amber. It's an amber overdose. It's supposed to replicate the smell of ambergris, and it doesn't really smell like ambergris to me. I really love ambroxan in fragrances, but some people don't like the smell. It might come off a bit intense, overwhelming, but I kind of had the same situation. I mean, with the fragrance Baccarat Rouge, I hated it, but it grew on me, and I'm obsessed with the smell of it. And in here, it's a really overdose version of ambroxan. It wears dry, dusty, very musky, and of course woody as well. So this is Après l'Amour, number 4, from the house of Thomas KOSMALA. Do you know that fragrance? Let me know, put a comment down below. So next up, we've got a fragrance from the house of Fragrance du Bois. This is Secret Triste, this one right here. Now this one is definitely got that Middle Eastern style for me. I really quite like that. And it's got the rose and saffron in here, although they're not like super intense notes, but just enough to give you that kind of a Middle Eastern fragrance feel. But it's got loads of vetiver, there's cardamom, there's patchouli, cedar, jasmine, bergamot, frankincense, and vanilla to sweeten things up. It's a really, really great fragrance. In fact, it's one of my favorites from Fragrance du Bois. I don't really spoke a lot about this house, but I think they did a great job with Secret Triste, and I enjoy wearing it. There's also this coziness about it, and whatever ambery touch we get with this particular fragrance gives me that kind of soothing, relaxed feel when I put it on. For sure, it's loads of woods and loads of amber here, and of course you're accentuating it with some rose and saffron to give you a nice contrast. And of course, don't forget the spices in here as well. So this is Secret Triste from the house of Fragrance du Bois. Up next, going to one of the darlings in the fragrance community, and it's not one of my all-time favorites from this house. It's appreciated by a lot of folks. It's a hyped fragrance, and I mean, I appreciate what it is, but it's not like if I had to name fragrances from this house, I would pick this as my all-time favorite. But we're going to the house of XERJOFF. This is Alexandria 2. Are you a fan of Alexandria 2? It's a great example of an amber woody or woody amber fragrance. And they just launched a new version, I think an anniversary edition, while I was at Incense, which I really appreciated a little more. And even though they don't mention cumin in this fragrance, there is some light hints of it. But with the new version, I think it appeared more on my skin. But with this Alexandria 2, let me know if you've tried it. It's lavender, rosewood, cinnamon, Laotian oud, vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. So it's a nice combo of loads of woods with amber vanilla combo, which is creating the ambery experience in the fragrance, which is why I'm featuring it here as a woody amber fragrance. But along the way, you've got the rosewood in here as well, and the lavender adds this fresh kind of floral or herbal aromatic touch, and then the cinnamon for its warmth. So it's a nice contrast of warmth and fresh notes. I consider woods not necessarily very warm. Some woods can go warm, but I feel like this is a nice combo, a nice balance of fresh notes, and then of course the signature for this, which is a nice combo of a woody amber fragrance. I like it. I'd like to experience the anniversary edition a little bit more to see if I appreciate that more, but I remembered sampling it, and I did like it. But let me know if you're a fan of Alexandria too. I know, like I said, it has a huge following. There's a lot of folks that enjoy it. You could be one of them. Let me know. Put a comment down below. But again, as I said, it's a nice example of a luxury niche take on a woody amber fragrance. But moving on to the house of J.U.S. Parfums. This is ANDALUIZA, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this fragrance? Are you familiar with this house? Let me know. Put a comment down. I do have a video on the house you can go catch as well, talking about a few of their older fragrances. This is a more recent fragrance, and it's a great example of a woody amber fragrance. It has loads of Atlas cedar, vetiver. There's a fruitiness from pomegranate. For sure, there's the Cistus labdanum, which creates the ambery touch, along with ambergris, which is a nice combo here. Ambergris giving you a little bit of funk in the fragrance. And then there's mandarin orange and tonka lactone to give you this kind of a smooth, kind of a tonka lactone, like milky kind of an effect in the fragrance. But for me, this is a super amber bomb, amber woody bomb. So if you like that kind of a fragrance, definitely check it out. For me, the ambergris acts a little bit like ambroxan, so we're being told it's ambergris, but it has probably traces or like an ambergris accord along with the addition of ambroxan. So it's great. It has a kind of a molecular feel. It has very much muskiness as well, but it's powdery, dry woods, and then the ambery touches kind of smooths it out and makes it a bit more syrupy, sweet effect. And then don't forget the pomegranate as well. It gives you a light fruity edge, and it's a great fragrance to wear. It acts very sexy. It has a great longevity and a really wonderful pleasure to wear. Great woody amber fragrance from a fairly underrated house. Let me know if you're familiar with J.U.S. This is ANDALUIZA. But moving on to a smaller house from Berlin. I forgot the name. It's Berlin in Germany. This is Atelier Oblique, and it's Bohemian Woods. Let me know if you're familiar with Bohemian Woods. It's a great, great fragrance discovered back in 2018 at the Petit Fragranza, one of the shows I had gone to, and instantly fell in love because it's a nice combination of woods with absinthe, and I enjoy the absinthe, licorice, anise kind of notes, wormwood, all these notes that kind of have similarities. I love the smell of them. I actually love the taste of them, and so I like it in fragrances as well. But this one, to me, has a very antique woody smell. It's almost like you're in some kind of a very ancient space, maybe an old church, and you can smell the smell of the woods. They have that kind of mature smell to them. And then you've got maybe like a restaurant right next door, and like a bar. You're having absinthe, because that smell, that kind of green booziness and the spiciness of the absinthe is really, really amazing with this one. It's a nice combo with the kind of antique woods, but there's a little bit of a churchy incense as well. So you're getting the smokiness as the church service is happening, the antique woods, the ancient smell of the space, and then of course the booziness of the absinthe. It's a really, really wonderful offering. Atelier Oblique, it's Bohemian Woods. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. If you've noticed, we've got quite a bit of oud-y fragrances in this video. Are you a fan of oud? Let me know. As I've been mentioning, I've gotten bored of ouds, but I think because the addition of amber makes it a little more exciting for me. But this next one's from the house of AMOUAGE. It's Sunset Oud, this one right here, for a very potent fragrance. This is a very resinous and smoky take on oud with loads of amber. There's myrrh, smoke, amber, oud, white vetiver, lavender, white leather, yuzu, tobacco blossom, and rosemary. It's definitely one of the best fragrances from this house. I've recommended it quite a bit, and I like the combo of the amber in here and the woods together. I mean, there's some traces of some freshness coming in. It's a pretty dense, intense, dark fragrance with those fresh notes kind of brightening things up a little bit, the yuzu and the rosemary, to give you like an aromatic, spicy, bright, citrusy edge. But lots of resins and ambery touches, and of course the smokiness and the amber here. So this is Sunset Oud from the house of AMOUAGE. Let me know if you're a fan of that particular fragrance, if you're a fan of that house. A lot of you mentioned that it's a pretty beastly house. Let me know if you experience it that way. But this next one's from the house of Binet Papillon. It's a sort of a newish house from France. This is number 9. Patchouli Monarch. Are you familiar with this house? So this is the one that screams very patchouli, but patchouli is a woody note in the end. It has a very sparkling quality about it, which is a very, very exciting note for me. One of my favorite notes. In fact, it's my favorite note. Here, it is center stage with lots of other woody notes. Patchouli and vetiver together to create this very earthy, grassy, kind of woody experience. But there's lots of amber here, labdanum, heliotrope, and immortelle, giving you a bit of a caramelized brown sugary touch in here. More like a grassy, dry experience, but the heliotrope is adding this kind of powdery, nutty, almondy touch. Not very almondy, very lightly, but you can experience it here. But for me, it's mostly about the patchouli, amber, labdanum, and vetiver, which is basically the focus of the video. It's woody amber fragrances. So this is Binet Papillon number 9, Patchouli Monarch. And I can't forget this fragrance. This is from the house of Diptyque. It's Benzoin Bohème. In the old bottle and in the new bottle right here. I just posted about this the other day in the community tab. Somebody had visited Las Vegas and they found bottles over at one of the Diptyque stores there. There's 2 of them. I guess one of them had it, the other one didn't. I posted about it. You can go catch that post. So if you're looking for a bottle like this, act on it, because you can find a gorgeous looking bottle, because now the bottles look like this. But either way, this is a great combo of woods and amber together. It's patchouli, benzoin, Peru balsam, rock rose or cistus, which is basically mostly the ambery notes meshed with the patchouli, which is a woody note, as I said, so it acts really super sexy. I love the combination of the notes together in this one. It's amber from the benzoin and the Peru balsam and cistus. So Peru balsam is balsamic, the cistus is resinous, and the benzoin is a resin as well. It creates this really gorgeous amber, more on the benzoin front, and of course contrast it with the patchouli. Great fragrance. I love it. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. I highly recommend it. And this next one has been a really great favorite of mine from the house of Francesca Bianchi. It's Encounters, this one right here. A great oud fragrance from the house of Francesca Bianchi, actually, but it has some of the signature touches of Francesca Bianchi fragrances, like the iris or the iris butter. But along with the iris butter, there's oud, ambergris, benzoin, Peru balsam, cedar, sandalwood, angelica, cinnamon, bergamot, and orange. So it's these key notes like benzoin, Peru balsam, you've got cistus, labdanum, notes and vanilla to give you the ambery effect, but it's lots of oud here. There's loads of oud in this fragrance, plus the sandalwood, so giving you an oudy woodiness. It's a great fragrance. I wore quite a bit of it. As I was mentioning, I wore it in Japan because a little goes a long way. It's an extrait de parfum, although I wore quite a bit of it, as you can see. It's a fantastic fragrance. In fact, this might be my second favorite or third favorite from the house of Francesca Bianchi. Sticky Fingers is still my favorite, but Encounters is really great. If you don't know it, check it out. It's Francesca Bianchi's Encounters. And last but not least, we're leaving the list with Maître Parfumeur Gantier's Ombre Tibet. This one right here. Ombre Tibet was featured in the Scent Club Mystery Box number 1, I believe. Has it been number 2? No, I think it was in number 1. And it's the 4th or 5th amber fragrance from this house. They really love their ambers. And this is completely different than the previous amber fragrances, like Ombre Perso, Ombre Mythique, and Ombre d'Or, I believe, is another one. But I'm not too experienced with Ombre d'Or. But this Ombre Tibet is quite spicy and woody. It does have the powdery experience, and it's, in the end, it's amber, similar notes to the other ambers they have, but they go in different directions. This is labdanum, ambergris, vanilla, sandalwood, incense, eucalyptus, davana, patchouli, rose, and geranium. In the end, it's a quite spicy amber fragrance with loads of woody touches in here. The sandalwood is very smooth and not the kind of sandalwood that I don't like the Santal 33. It's more of a smooth and a creamy sandalwood with the overdose of all the resins and ambery touches that are in here to create the entire amber effect. If you like the idea of an amber woody fragrance or a woody amber fragrance with more amber, I would suggest Ombre Tibet from the house of Maître Parfumeur Gantier. In the end, it is definitely more amber, but there's loads of woods there to balance it out. Let me know if you're familiar with Ombre Tibet. Were you able to get one of the Scent Club kits it was featured in? Do put a comment down and let me know what you thought about it. But let me know your thoughts on the fragrances that I featured in this video. What do you think about them? And do you have a favorite woody amber fragrance that I did not mention here? Stick to niche, but tell me some designer ones as well. Put a comment down below so I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. I will do a few more woody fragrance videos focusing on woods but with other notes, a certain style, and just to kind of give you guys the videos that you've been asking for that I've been neglecting to do, because I know a lot of you enjoy the idea of woody fragrances, and so we'll do a few more. But don't forget to catch last week's video. Other than that, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I've got a few fragrances here that are on the cheap or on the budget side for men. A woman can pull it off if you want to wear something like this. First, we're going to Lalique Encre Noir à l'Extrême, this one right here. This is a ambery take on vetiver woods and smokiness and a bit powdery touches as well. So it's got notes of vetiver, incense, cypress, elemi, benzoin, sandalwood, patchouli, orris, and bergamot. So the notes are very, very masculine to me. And I consider like floral notes feminine, masculine notes, you know, more like the woods and spices and resins. But there's no real rules. I mean, wear what you want when you want them. But this is a super intense take on the original. I really appreciate this version over the other. For me, the original feels a bit one-dimensional, kind of linear. But this one has some excitement going for it, and I much appreciate wearing this one. So this is Encre Noir à l'Extrême. And the next fragrance, and the last bonus fragrance, is Bentley's For Men Absolute, this one right here. Definitely a dark smoky take on amber and woods together, or woods and amber. This one does rely more on woods with an ambery effect coming in. It's cedar, Labdanum, pink pepper, papyrus, oud, sandalwood, ginger, amber, and oak moss. And it's a great alternative to the now discontinued Gucci Pour Homme 1, which was created by Michel Almerac. This is also created by Michel Almerac. If you can't find that one, get this one. It's similar, close, not identical, but it'll do just fine. And if you like the idea of a dark, smoky, woody amber fragrance, definitely check out Bentley For Men Absolute. Thanks so much for watching today. See you guys later. Bye.